How's it going, YouTube? It's Nomad TCG here, and today I'm bringing you guys my top 4 Cyberstorm Access Case Tournament deck profile. So, I love combo decks, and once I seen that Superheavy Samurai was getting new support, I knew I wanted to try this deck out. I tested this in purely for the Case Tournament for about a week, and I landed on this build. I will say there's probably a couple things I would change, and I think there was 3 Super Heavies in the top 8 altogether of our Case Tournament. In Swiss, I ended 4th place. The only loss I had out of it was 5 or 6 rounds was to a Mirror, but the Mirror played Earth Machine cards and he ended on a Rise Heart. Unfortunately, game 3, after winning the die roll, I go first and I draw double Fenrir, double Ash, and Droll. And unfortunately, that was not enough to win because I never seen a Super Heavy even on the following turn. My top 8 match, I played against Sprite and I won that. And then in top 4, I lost to Cash. Shifter's a card, and Fenrir and Unicorn are just too strong. So without further ado, I'll get into the deck profile, explain a little bit, and then that'll be it for today. So I played the 12 starters, which is 3 Prodigy. This is the best one. You scale it up. If they decide they're going to use Ghost Ogre or something like that, you have Gamma, and then you just kind of auto win. We played 3 Wagon. This is the worst one because it gets hit by all these hand traps. You can Valor it, Ogre it, Ash it, Gamma it, and then after the search resolves, you can get Drolled. So not the best one, but you have to play it for maximum efficiency and consistency. Then we played 3 Soul Piercer, which is the heart and soul of the deck. And then 1 Scales. So if you like normal this, you make Scarecrow and you search Bike. What you do is you activate Scarecrow, and if your opponent decides they're going to Gamma there, you just discard Bike, get Scales, and then you special the Scales because they have Gamma and Driver, and you keep playing. So that's really nice. This card's incredible. It's usually what you summon off the Peacemaker. Then double Monk. I had a couple times where I drew both of these, which was just awful. You need to play these. They're not great by themselves, but if you draw it with any Super Heavy, they're good. They can get you to combo. And then you need them because you need copies in deck for Wakashi. And Wakashi will scale these, and that's how you play. Then we played 1 copy of Solgaya. You need these Soul Extenders in your deck. I'm thinking about playing Soul Claw after the tournament because I realized when you get into the grind and you're not able to make it quite to Tunneler box yet, this can be really good to search those extenders. And then often off the Tunneler in the box, I was putting this back along with some extra deck cards in this. Of course, you try to put these 3 back with like 2 extra deck, but sometimes you do like 2 extra deck and 3 of these, so it just depends. And then the Soul Peacemaker, of course, I've seen arguments for more people to play like 2 or 3 of these, but I mean, it just doesn't do enough by itself. And like most of the time, if you just put up Baron or Baguska, they're probably playing through that anyway. So it's unfortunate, but I think 1 is the right call. You can just play more hand traps, more defensive cards to not, lose to Droll. Then we played Box and Tunneler. These cards suck. They really suck to draw, but like they do so much for your combo that I think you have to play them. It makes like your Gear X better, your Ballista, your Genius, your Pendulum Summoning, your Recursion. I just think you have to play it. This package kind of ensures that when you combo and it goes fully off, you win. And then Stealthy, this is like a good card because if you get like nibbed on the Excel line and you search this, you can kind of special it to try to get back into at least putting up somewhat of a board. Then we played Regulus and Jizakira, of course. This can be searched off Sargus and Genius, and then this off Genius. I played double Fenrir. This card is like weird. It's good in like simplified game states when you have it and backed up by some like hand traps, but if you draw like multiple of them, it could just be something else. And like there's multiple times where I drew one or both of these, and then I had no Samurais and I'd have hand traps. But like if you're playing against like a heavy combo deck or like Kashtira, for example, you're getting cooked every time. So this card is like debatable on moving to the side or just completely getting cut out of the deck. Played one more thing about this. So also, if you do decide to play this, when you start your turn, it makes it weird because like if you special it and then you try to activate like Wakashi, they can now Ogre the Wakashi, and it's like if you had Gamma or something, it just creates weird situations with like Gamma, I think, and Wakashi mainly. And then the other thing is, if you start your turn by specialing this, you can't search the second copy right away because that plays in a droll way too hard. So you have to like summon your guys and like try to combo and then like search this at the end of it. So, or search when you know they don't have droll. So it's kind of weird. But yeah. And then I went with 2 Nib, 2 Ogre, and 2 Valor. Moving forward, this is going to be 3 Ogre and 3 Ghost Mourner. So Nib is like not great into all the matchups, and even the matchups where it's like I guess somewhat effective, they usually can just keep playing and put up something and clear the Nib. Like this deck can just still make Baron, and then they can just pop your Nib, so that's like unfortunate. Ogre is really strong against this deck. It hits Birth, it hits like Sprite. So I think like this is worth playing still, and especially at 3. Valor is good, but not as good as Mourner right now because Purely can just summon all their guys in draw phase with the spells, and like this only works in main phase, so you need like the Ghost Mourner to hit their guys. And then you have the Ash Blossoms, so I think that this hits at least something in every deck, so that's why we play 3 of it. It's the most generic one. Droll, it's good into a lot of matchups right now, especially against this deck. It like is a turn skip, so I think you have to play it. It's amazing. And then this is the best hand trap in the deck by far because it ensures that you don't get drolled on your first search most of the time. And then like most of the decks, if you just Gamma like Purely's first like guy that comes out, it makes it really hard for them to like get to the whole setup with My Friend and stuff. This can also, you know, use Gamma on a Rise Heart. It's just incredible against every deck, and it ensures like this is kind of like our called by / talents because we can't play spells and traps. It's just way better in this deck than any other deck I've ever seen besides like maybe pure Psy-Frame. The side is triple Eccentric. This is for like the trap decks and Rainbow Magician. Choose to respect those how you will. I respected Despia, Mathmech, Dragon with the Bestial package, which I did end up playing against a Mathmech and a Dragon, and these came in clutch. I played double Kurakara. Didn't get to use this card. I did side it in a couple times. I'm not sure if this is like honestly any better than like a Kaiju, because these put in work. Like I would definitely play these again, maybe even play 3 of them. Kaijus are just really strong. They deal with a Rise Heart. They can help you crack this board easier. Every deck going first puts up a monster pretty much right now that you want to deal with, especially like Noir. Oh man, like I don't want to have to make my opponent bait out their Noir, because if like they know you don't have an out, they just don't have to do anything, so they can play around Kurakara that way. The only thing with this is like if Purely sides Rivalry or they side like Vanity's Fiend. If they side Vanity's Fiend, I mean it's just a wrap for you. There's not much you can do. But like this really sucks against Rivalry, whereas this can play around Rivalry. So it's like each has their pros, each has their cons. I think there's just a little bit more pros to Kaijus right now. Then double Retaliating C. So like I thought about playing 3 Retaliating C and the Contact C, but I was scared of Rainbow Magician because I didn't know if Despia was going to be around. So that's why I played the Bestial package too, because this can also deal with Rainbow. But yeah, you can play these if you want. You could just play DD Crow to deal with like Purely and some other decks as well. This does play into Runic, but it's like there's a lot of decision making between the side and what hand traps, or additional hand traps I should say, are correct. We played Pink. You can special this, you can beat over Apo, and then you can like try to bait out one of the negates with it by sending it to pop. So this deals with some stuff. This is a great card. It also is another card you can side against the trap matchups to hit like floodgates. And then we played Spell Canceller. So your standard combo ends with like Barone, Apo, Regulus, equip a Soul Piercer, 6 in hand. So instead what you do, your Genius doesn't search Kaiju, your Genius searches Spell Canceller, and then you will use Barone at the end of the combo to pop Soul Piercer. So then you end up with 7 in hand. When you move to end phase, you have to discard this, and then in your opponent's standby, you return Baron to special this. So that's something you can do. I did that at, I think only once in the tournament. Because you don't do this against every deck. Like Dark Ruler is an issue, but like you have so much in your hand that like unless they literally put up like more than one Omni after clearing your board, or just, you know, there's nothing that they can do to really win. Because like you literally have follow-up, you have hand traps, and you have a kaiju in hand, and like, I don't know, I just don't see how they dark ruler you and kill you, because they can't. Like there's no damage, so it's like, I only really put this in against like branded and purely and like runic decks. For the extra, I played double scarecrow. You need more than one, otherwise you just get literally annihilated by cash, and there's lines that you need 2 for. We played genius to search like our big machine guys. Ballista, there's lines where if you start with monk in like a super heavy and you're going second, you can use Ballista after you search the box to pop this and make one of their guys 0. And now if you are able to search Wakashi with like Soul Piercer later after playing for a little bit, you can scale this second one and then special this. So that's cool. Or even if you want to pop this so that way your Wakashi can summon itself on the following turn, like there's a lot of cool things you can do with it. It is a link too, so it plays better around Dimensional Barrier. Then we play Unicorn and Access Code. I only made these like maybe once each. The games you're losing, you're probably never getting like 3 to 4 bodies out, because at that point you're probably comboing and you just win. So it's like these aren't helping you win games you're losing. And then the games that you are winning, like you don't need these. So it's like, I don't think you should play them really. You're only ever getting 2 pops off access code, and like I feel like you can just kill with like your big guys anyway most of the time. Like you have enough, so it's like I don't think you need to play these. Appaloosa, it's part of the end board. Savage, I did make this a couple times throughout the tournament. If you're able to resolve Gamma on your turn, your Gamma and Driver become Excel, which becomes Baron, and then you can just go full combo, and then your Soul Piercer / Wakashi just makes Savage. You have this for Shifter and Droll. Geargiant X can grab Box from Grave. So if you open Box, your Scarecrow needs to pitch it to the graveyard, and then you'll have to do the combo line with Geargiant X, which grabs Box from Grave. Then Box will trigger to get Tunneler. So this works if it's added from deck to hand or graveyard to hand. And then we play Merrymaker and the Sargus. So this gives you format Zeus, and this searches Regulus, super important, and the Zeus. So I think I would definitely play Saratobi moving forward, so one of these is getting cut for that. And then the second card is either going to be like the Golden Beast Malong, or Zeus, second Zeus, or Exciton. And then maybe Savage would get cut, I'm not sure yet. Or maybe Ballista or Gear X. I'm just not sure. The extra deck's probably the hardest part about the deck. I know for sure what I'm cutting from the main, and the side is just kind of what you feel. So yeah, guys, that's the deck. Hope you enjoyed the explanations. Hope you enjoyed seeing the deck. Be on the lookout. If you don't know what this deck does by now, please do your research. This deck is insane. It's one of the craziest combo decks we've had in a while. Yeah, guys, Nomad out. Peace.